Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Claude and the Banstas for this this Arsenal versus Leeds. Arsenal watch-along. Arsenal versus Leeds review. Arsenal 4, obviously, Leeds 2. And we've got a special man with us.
Please.
We've got a special man with us.
No.
And here he is. Glenn, how you doing,
Wow.
Glenn? Hope you're well.
Please. Thank you. That's a very nice introduction, but you flatter me. And you see what happens when you burn your candle at both ends, Terry, where you're talking about a watch along here?
Yeah.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this man, he's working like 23 hours a day. It's ridiculous. But hi, Terry. Good morning here in New York. I've only been up for an hour and a half. And my family, after I get up, doesn't even talk to me for 2 hours. So good luck with me right now. I went to bed at 3 a.m. But and hello, everybody.
No. Listen, while we got you on, Glenn, unfortunately, Claude can't be with us. He's not feeling very good again today. He was on last night, but he's not feeling very well again today. So hopefully, he will get himself better. And obviously, Diesel is working at the moment, but all three of us would just love to say thank you very much, Glenn, for helping us with this intro. It's been absolutely brilliant. We've got a great response from it, and we absolutely love it, mate.
Well, you and I, when you asked me to do it, I was glad to do it. You gave me specific instructions. Give yourself credit, Terry. You laid out that whole thing. I just put it together. So you told me what you wanted, and it was a pleasure to do it. You were a pretty tough boss, but ladies and gentlemen, I thought I had it done 8 times. Terry sent it back to me 8 times. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate it, and I'm so glad that people are enjoying it.
No, listen, it's absolutely brilliant, and we love it, mate. So thank you very much. And it's good to have you on because we haven't seen you for a long time. Are you all, all fine, wife fine, and everything?
Yeah, no, everything's fine. It just, life. It was just life. And I'm glad to hear that Claude. I was so glad to see Claude back, but I thought he was going a little bit too fast there when he came back. He was like a locomotive going down the tracks. He needs to pace himself a little bit.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. So we hope he gets well very, very soon again. Right, let's get to it, Glenn. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. Let's start from the right beginning. The team lineup, Glenn. What did you think of the team lineup?
I was, even though Laka has only had 1 goal in his last 8 games, I was a little bit surprised that he didn't start. But and the other thing was, I thought Pepe would be in there because he's been in good form. But I said this in the video that you just put up this morning that I made for you guys. That I thought Pepe should have started based on his form, but who could argue with the game Saka had? All credit to Arteta in that first half. It was brilliant.
Listen, I was the same as you, Glenn. I thought Laka should have started. I wasn't too happy that David Luiz started in front of Oldin and Mari. And also, to be fair, I didn't think ceballos should have come straight in the squad. I think there was 3 changes that I would have made, but like I said at the beginning of the watch along, Glenn, is that obviously I'm not happy with the starting lineup, but we're Arsenal fans. Them players are out on the pitch that he's pitched. Let's get behind them and let's see what happens first, Glenn.
Yes, absolutely. I could not agree with you more. Arteta has done some very odd and wrong things, but I'm staying behind him. Now we're not Chelsea. We're not going to fire the manager now. Let's see where all the cards are at the end of the season. I'm always behind whoever's wearing the kit. I was so pissed off at Xhaka after his thing that he did there. And I did not forgive him for the longest time. Then he had a good run of form, and not everybody, but a lot of people forgave him, but I was still mad at him. But I still supported him despite how I feel he completely went against everything Arsenal stands for. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to stay by. You're on my team. You have my 100% support.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly. Look, it got off to a good start. We started how we have been starting for the last sort of 8-9 games, I would say. You know what I mean? We was on the attack straight away, attacking on the front foot. We was unlucky to begin with, and then obviously we got a penalty that then got took away from VAR. What was your opinion on that?
Yeah. Oh, the Saka one that was taken away on. When I hand to heart, when I saw it in real time, I'm like, stop diving, Saka. That's not a penalty. And all the play-by-play people were saying, oh, that's a definite penalty. I'm like, oh, I got that one wrong, I guess. My one tiny complaint about Saka is he goes down too easy. You know, but no, that was not a penalty. The VAR got that one right.
Just quickly, Chris, he said, big up, Terry. And I want to say hi to Glenn. I'm a big fan of yours. Please say hello. Oh,
Chris, I'm honored, Chris. Thank you very much. Chris Pantelli. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do this for fun. This isn't a career for me. And just that so many people are so nice to me. It's very rewarding. And thank you.
No. I mean, you deserve it, mate. You deserve it. You're a fantastic bloke. And we love having you on.
Thank you. All right. Enough of this already. I don't take compliments well, Terry. Terry, yell at me for getting on Arteta's case in the video.
We'll get onto that in a minute. Okay. We're still on the first half.
Okay.
Okay. And, Stan's in the house. How you doing, Stan? Hope you're well, mate. Morning, he's saying.
Oh my God, Stan, he's in Vancouver, so it's 3 hours earlier there.
Wow.
Good morning, Stan.
Yeah, so and then obviously we got another penalty, Glenn. Aubameyang put us 1-0 up.
Yeah, well, that was a penalty. Everything else, the refs got everything else right after that. You know, I'm very. Alba seems to have his confidence back. He really, when he's confident, he's one of the top strikers in the world.
There's been a lot of talk about Aubameyang. Let's quickly pick up on that, Glenn. I want to get your take and your thought on it. Obviously, a lot of people think that Aubameyang should be on the bench, or maybe it's time to sort of, even though he's signed a new contract, they would sell him. But I mean, for me personally, I know he hasn't been playing that well, but he's a prolific goal scorer. If you look at his record, I think he's number 6 or 7 since he's come to us in the world that's got more goals. I think he's only 5 goals behind Aguero.
Yeah, well, I would bet that the majority of Arsenal supporters would agree with this statement. He should play up front. Laka can, go. Well, Laka can't really do anything except go up front. Laka's on the bench. Aubameyang has to start up front. Has to. All right, that's where he's best at. We're not going to get him on the wing and become another Thierry Henry. He's got to be up front.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Arsenal at the moment, I think, Glenn, is now we're building obviously we've got to wait until the summer to get more players in, but we're building a squad of players now that are going to be fighting for competition every week.
Right. No, I agree with that, but we still have a handful of people, in my opinion, that are just not good enough.
Yeah,
I know we're going to talk about it because he came in the second half, but El Neni has no place on this squad for me. Xhaka, for me, I see what Xhaka does. He's a lot of people hate him, but he's a decent player. He's a decent squad player. I don't think he'll accept that at Arsenal, but tough beans. Get out if you don't want it. But Xhaka is not a starter for me.
Listen, I don't think he should be a starter. I mean, at the moment, you can't take him out the squad. I don't think at the team, at the starting 11, because who else have we got there? I mean, Ceballos. I mean, he's come in and he had a good game, to be fair, but he's a bit hot and cold for me, Ceballos. If he done that every game, then obviously, yeah, not a problem. El Neni for me, he's like you said, really, he's just a player that needs to come on for 10 minutes. He's just a squad player. That's all it is. Just to fill in the gap when we need it, and that's all he is. He shouldn't be nowhere near the team. Let's be honest. We've got Smith Rowe, obviously, that's going to be there all the time now. You've got Partey that's going to be there all the time once hopefully he gets over this bloody silly little niggle injury he's got, because he's only picked it up since he's come to Arsenal. But moving forward, Glenn, I definitely agree with you. Xhaka is not going to be in my starting 11.
Yeah, I differ with you. Who can play next to Partey? I know you said, and it's a fair point. What you say about Ceballos seems to be hot and cold, but that's a guy that needs a run of games, and I would love to see Ceballos, Partey, and Odegaard in there. You know, you can throw Smith Rowe. You can throw Smith Rowe on the wing, I guess. Look, like you said, we have a lot of choices. But if it comes down to Xhaka or Ceballos next to Partey, I want Ceballos. We got to see what this guy's made of. His loan deal is over after this, and I still say there's a very talented player inside of Ceballos.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard reports this morning, Glenn, that we could pick him up for about just over 20 million. Would you do that at the end of the summer?
Well, look, you and I both have the same view of the media. You know, everything we read or hear, we take with a grain of salt. But if that's true, that's an effing bargain. 20 million for Ceballos.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, if for 20 million, I don't think you can go wrong. Even if he does turn out to be not that great, you can still get 20 million back on him in the next sort of couple of years, Glenn.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that he's the answer to our questions. Obviously, we need if we can go out and get another great player like a Partey next to him, then I would go for that and have Ceballos as, you know what I mean, trying to push for a place on the team. And that's what we want. That's what we want, Glenn. We want competition for places.
Yes. I completely agree. I completely agree with you, Terry. I don't know what to say. I know you cracked me up because I tuned you in at halftime of the Leeds game. I'm like, these guys got to be in a good mood, and everybody was yelling at each other. So I'm sorry that I'm not, yelling right now. I just you say Ceballos to me is a big question mark with potential. That's the only place we differ. I agree with everything else you said.
Well, look, I mean, let's sum up the first half. I think, to be honest, I was really disappointed with. I don't know if it's the way that Leeds played, because obviously normally where the way that Leeds play is that they don't really care about defending; they're all about attacking. If you know what I mean. So is that? Are we taking something away from Arsenal there? Was Arsenal that good in that first half that they shut everything down from Leeds and didn't let them play, Glenn? Or what would you say, mate?
Leeds defense was pretty atrocious, but no, that I'm not taking anything away from that. And believe me, if there's something negative to find, I'll talk about it. But that first half for me, watching it, I'm like, wow. They finally gave us a game where we can just sit back, have a drink, and not yell at the television. I'm not gonna knock that first half. The only thing I'll say is, yeah, Leeds defense stinks, but who cares? Every game in the Premier League's a tough game.
No, I agree with you there, Glenn. I agree with you. Right, let's move on, obviously, to the second half. Then let's get straight into it. Second half, I thought for the first sort of 20 minutes, we come out like we did the first half. Obviously, went 4-0 up. Everything was all, roses in the garden. And then all of a sudden, for me, Arteta got it wrong with the substitution.
Yeah.
And that's when it all changed. Who come off for Willian? I can't think who it was who come off for Willian. Oh
my gosh. How could I not remember that?
Someone in the chat will remember, but yeah, William come on, and that's when the game changed for me, Glenn. We sort of went a lot very defensive. We sat back, and then that encouraged Leeds to come onto us, and and then obviously they got 2 good goals, and then we was our arse cheeks was tweaking a little bit.
I love your colorful shit, man. So, all right. After we got that 4th goal, wait, let me get the cheeks twitching out of my head. Okay. After we got that 4th goal, right, we did not have another shot on goal for 30 minutes. After the game, Bielsa said, I got my tactics all wrong in that game in the beginning. He fixed his tactics at halftime, okay, and they pretty much dominated us after we got that fourth goal. Then the Arteta. So, you know, to me, it's like, what was Arteta's strategy there? I thought he was totally outclassed by Bielsa. Why the hell didn't Pepe come on instead of Willian? I'm sure a lot of other people have said that. I haven't been on social media the last few days. Okay. And then El Neni comes on. El Neni. I thought, to me, it was like, I love the win. It was a very, very good win. I was happy. But as you like to say, I had that little niggle, that little cheek twitch. That Arteta, cheek twitch won't work there. That Arteta, you know, to me, everybody's going to overlook his terrible job in the second half, you know, and it made me crazy. I thought he was abysmal, Arteta, in the second half.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, with both, well, 3 substitutions, I think he got wrong there, Glenn. Just quickly before we move on with that, Alan said, "Hi, Glenn, why aren't you more on the channel? You bring something different in a good way." Watch this space, Alan. Watch this space. What to say, Glenn? What do you want to say to that?
I've had nothing as serious as Claude, but I don't want to bore people with my hideous life. But I'm back now. I'm going to be doing lots of different stuff and with these guys and other people. And I'm very and thank you for your kind words. It was just personal stuff. I'm back.
Yeah. Mark is saying, how you doing, Mark? Hope you're well. We said Arteta obviously feels that Willian's poor form. He needs to play through it. And what's better opportunity when you're 4-0 up? Mark, you're right. I'm going to come to that in a second, because what I was going to say just a minute again, Glenn, is that when I was doing the watch-along, I was very irate about the substitutions and what Arteta was doing. And obviously, when you're watching it live and your emotions are high, especially when you're 4-0 up, why are you bringing on Willian when we can just go out and keep getting more goals? But then what happened with me, Glenn, and it was the day after. The day after, obviously, we've got the 3 points. We've won 4-2. Great first half. I woke up and I thought to myself, hold up here a minute. We're 4-0 up. Why really do we need to bring Martinelli on? Why do we need to bring Lacazette on and things like that? Because really thinking about it, Glenn, we're 4-0 up. The 3 points are in the bag, really, let's be honest. And do we really want to pick up injuries on our main players when we've got a lot of hard games coming up? We've got Benfica on Thursday. We've got Man City on Sunday. And then we've got Benfica again next week. And then we've got another hard game. I think it's, who is it the week after? I can't think off the top of my head for a second. But you know what I mean? I sort of was thinking to myself, well, is that good man management really? Because obviously, if them players would have come on, say a Martinelli, come on, he done exceptional, got a goal, and then all of a sudden, 2 minutes to go, he gets an injury.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good argument. I will say this. No, we had a lot of time off. All right. These guys are in peak physical condition. Coming on for 30 minutes just to stay fresh for Benfica is a good idea for me. Terry, these guys are not old like you and me. They don't like sit down and go, oh, you know, they're in peak physical condition. They don't have to pee before they do a show like you and me because we don't have control of our bladders. These guys could have played 30 minutes, stay a little fresh, you know, and play. You know, Benfica's wide open. Anybody can play who he wants to, and hopefully he'll play the best 11. But no, I don't buy that. Oh, this guy might get an injury. You want to talk to me about the Premier League not having 5 substitutions, just one more season instead of 3? Yeah, you know, it's partially their fault too. But no, I disagree with that. These guys are in great physical condition, at least till they come to Arsenal. Then they get hurt. Well, did you know Partey was never injured till he came to Arsenal?
That's exactly what I'm saying. For some reason, I'm not talking about their age or anything like that. I'm just saying that for some reason, when they play for Arsenal, Glenn, let's be real. It's, you know, these players only seem can play 2 or 3 games on a trot, and then they're out for 2 or 3 games. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if it's a case of. And this is not making excuses. This is not making any excuses for Arteta or the players or anything. All I'm trying to say is why is this happening? You know what I mean? Is it because our squad ain't that great, and we rely on these players that we're talking about, Martinelli, Tierney, Partey, Gabriel. You know, we rely on these. We need them in our squad every week, Glenn. So are we just rushing them back, and they're only at 70% maybe, when really, you know what I mean, they should be out for another 2 or 3 weeks to be proper match fit? I don't know. I'm just asking a question, Glenn.
Yeah, you're bringing other things into it with yes, you're talking about rushing players back, and we're also talking about whether they have enough rest. Yeah, we rush players back, and they never tell us the truth. We know that, you know, about injuries. They never tell us the truth about that. But Terry, think about it. All right, I know I'm not going to change your mind. I just want to say this in more succinct terms. Between games, before the Leeds game, we had 7 days off. Okay. Yeah. And then we had, you know, now we have a game Thursday, so that's another 4 days. I think I want our best players in there. As soon as Newcastle scored that first goal, that's Newcastle. See what I'm doing already? As soon as Leeds scored that first, as soon as Leeds scored that first goal, I'm like, if they get a second, I'm gonna have Newcastle flashbacks. And you know what I mean? I want our best players. I don't want El Neni in there. Xhaka and El Neni together, which is what happened when he put El Neni in there. You know, does nothing for us except grief.
Yeah. No, listen, I totally agree with what you're saying, Glenn. I'm just trying to come up with some sort of analogy to why on earth these players keep getting injured. Like you said, you know what I mean? Partey's been here, what, not even 6 months, 7 months, and he's been out for more than what he's played already. Do you know what I mean? Same as Gabriel, Martinelli, Tierney. What is going on with these players, Glenn?
It's frustrating. It's almost unbelievable. It's been going on for so long. It just seems like it's been this way all the time. That's how long it's been going on. It's like some kind of Stephen King movie where we like pissed off some gypsy and they cursed us. You know what I mean? I don't know. Nobody has the answer to that.
I mean, just giving an example, what I mean is that how many times, right, out of 3 seasons, would you say Mane, Salah, and Firmino hasn't played with each other?
I don't know. They're always playing together.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You always know that them 3 are going to be on the thing. They don't never see. I mean, obviously they've had injuries. Don't get me wrong. Do you know what I mean? But they always seem to be on the team sheet every single week and playing. When was the last time that Arsenal had that? I don't understand what goes on at Arsenal sometimes.
I don't know. Yeah. We get a free kick coach. I don't know what you call the guy that plots the corner kicks. What's his official title? We got some guy that's supposed to be innovative. You know what I'm talking about, Terry? With free kicks and corners. You know, I don't see any difference. We still look pretty crappy on it. But I never hear like if we have a turnover in the medical department. You know, it's like, is it the doctors, the physios, whatever you call them in the UK? For Arsenal, physios that are awful, like they can't diagnose an injury, take care of it, and get the person back. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. But listen, we got the 3 points, mate. 4-2 in the end. And overall, what would you score the team overall when Arteta?
Oh, team overall in the game, a 7. Yeah. You know, it was 3 points we needed. They got the job done. You know, despite me disagreeing with Arteta's tactics in the second half, we got the job done. We got the 3 points. We needed it. I can't believe we were a point behind Leeds going into that game. That's just disgusting. And that's nothing against Leeds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. Obviously, we want to be as high up as possible, but unfortunately, we ain't, are we? Do you know what I mean? So it's. Hopefully we will be going in the right way, but we've got a few hard games coming up. We'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, like you said, we've got the 3 points. And look, at the moment, if you look at the table though, Glenn, it ain't bad reading. It ain't all doom and gloom like some Arsenal fans would like you to think, if you know what I mean. I know we're in 10th place, but we're 2 points behind Tottenham. I know they've got a game in hand. But, you know what I mean? And we're only 6 points behind Liverpool. That's in 4th place.
No, Terry, what you do, and you're such, I cracked up because when I watched you guys at halftime when we were up 3-0, you got everybody going. I forgot. I think you were arguing about Arteta or something, and someone in the comments said, "Terry, you're such a wind-up." I'm like, "That's it. That's exactly what Terry is. You're such an instigator." But besides being an instigator, you're a very positive guy. You're more positive than I am. I don't rule out. My voice is cracking. Holy crap! I don't. Hold on. I don't rule out a top 4 run. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but I'd like to see us do a run of wins and then see where we are. So I don't rule that out. All right. You know, my heart really says, you know, the Europa League's the only way into the Champions League. But who knows? I don't rule anything out. I'm like you. I'm not as positive as you are, but I don't rule it out. I don't think that the table is that bad right now, considering how many awful games we've played this year.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And I know Emin says that we've had 10 losses. We've had 10 losses, yeah. If you look at it, I think Super Mourinho's had 7 losses. You know what I mean? Most of the other teams had 6 losses. You know, it's not that, you know, I can't understand why people look at that more than anything else. Do you know what I mean? It's like they see the 10 losses and that's it. It's the world is over, Glenn. Do you know what I mean? But if you compare that with like all the other managers that I keep getting told, most experienced, do you know what I mean? They've won the Champions League, they've done this, they've done that. Then it's not that bad, really, if you compare, if you know what I mean, Glenn.
No, I do know what you mean. But Terry, what you got to realize is that, you know, people are going to feel the way they do. You know, I switch back and forth too. I get negative sometimes I get positive. It's especially frustrating this season because everything is wide open. Every game, you know, anybody can win every game. And here we are, you know, spinning our tires in the mud. Hopefully, you know, we're going to get off a run of wins and then let's see where we are.
A great comment here from Mark. He said, why do I keep seeing messages giving Arteta an hard time? My God, he's been in the job for just over a year. We have won a cup. There's a team not a million miles away who'll take that in an heartbeat. Give the guy a break. It's a process. There's a lot of crap to get rid of.
No, Mark makes a great point. He makes a great point. But Mark, you know, you can't legislate how people feel. You know, there's a lot of frustrations for different reasons with Arteta. I'm very angry at him right now, but I do respect what he's done. And I don't think he should be sacked. I think for me, though, if we don't make the Champions League in one form or another, you know, I might be in that Arteta out crowd. But right now, I say we're not Chelsea. Give the man till the end of the season. Let's see what's going on after that.
Right, let's move on from obviously that game. We got the 3 points and we're in 10th place. Let's pick up. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of big YouTubers, Arsenal fans, and all that. That's going to run with this story. And you know, I mean, Glenn's picked up on it just a minute ago. Me and Glenn, we sort of think alike on this. We don't agree with all this media speculation shit. If you know what I mean, it's just crap. Let's be honest. But I'm going to say it. Negative Arsenal fans will pick it up on it, and they'll just run with it. So let's get it up there, and let's talk about it, Glenn. And that is here we go. Hopefully you can see that. Let's do that so we can see it. And that is David Luiz, right? Sky Sports are saying that David Luiz will reportedly be offered another contract extension at Arsenal. Firstly, what I want to say is let's get your reaction on that, Glenn.
Bullshit! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I sneezed there. I don't believe it for a minute. I don't believe it for a minute. Don't believe it for a minute. And if it was true, I'd be pretty pissed off because I didn't want him to have the 1-year contract. But I don't believe it. I think they're just trying to wind us up.
Listen,
it's just clickbait. To me, it's just clickbait. If I mock my new microphone one more time with my hand, I'm going to get really angry and throw it across the room. Okay, go ahead.
No, I totally agree with you. It's just clickbait. And, you know, this is what, unfortunately, some Arsenal fans and YouTubers will do. They will they will look for news reports like this, and this is what they go for over any positive stuff that's got anything to do with Arsenal or Arteta. This is just, I totally agree with you, Glenn. It's bullshit. And then look, if you look at that one, that's Sky Sports, yeah. And then if you go up, Chris Wheatley, who reports about Arsenal quite a lot, says, understand there have been no discussions between Arsenal and David Luiz over a new contract. Talks likely to reopen at the end of the season, but the 33-year-old future remains unclear. Unclear. So there you go. You've got two different stances on this. You've got one that's saying, you know what I mean, they're trying to stir up the Arsenal fan base because they know what we're like. Let's be honest. They see a little bit of negative news, and that's it. It's got to be gospel, Glenn.
Yeah, it's, I'm sure you do this too. You roll out of bed, once you do what you got to do, you see, what's going on with Arsenal? I hit my mic again. What's going on with Arsenal today? And I see something like that. I go to the story and there's usually no direct quotes. I'll tell you a perfect example of why I don't believe this, Terry. And I think we talked about this just before we came on the air. The Aaron Ramsey story a few days ago, last week, whenever it was. Aaron Ramsey was one of my favorite players. I was so sad to see him go. And I'm like, this story is BS. If he came back to Arsenal, it would just be another Ozil situation with the salary he has. I looked at the story. It took me 1 minute to find out it was baloney. So people need to realize this. It really doesn't take that long to check if the story is true or not.
No, exactly, mate. You're exactly right. I just can't understand. Look, even if you're Arteta out, I've got no problem with that, Glenn. I've got no problem with that. If you don't think he's the right man for the job or whatever, but why still go along with all this negative bullshit, right? Just to you know what I mean, get your agenda going, if you know what I mean, of that. Right, this will help get him out. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, Glenn.
No, I understand that. And, and then, fans will argue with each other about this, like you said, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Don't believe the media. They are so full of crap.
I'll totally agree with you, mate. I totally agree. Just again, Mark, come back with you, mate. He said, Glenn, mate, we have no God-given right to be in the top four. We've been shit before. Football goes around in circles. Our time will come again. We have great youngsters. Just give the manager time.
I completely agree with Mark. That was very well said. I don't feel like we have a God-given right for the top four. I'm just spoiled. That's all.
Listen, but you're right there, Glenn. We have been spoiled. I mean, obviously, we went through an absolute great period under George Graham right at the end of his thing. And then, obviously, Arsene Wenger come in. And for 10 great years, let's be honest, 10 great years, Arsenal were absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, this is what I don't get. And, why there's a difference between some Arsenal fans and me is because after them 10 great years, he slowly, every year took us backwards as a team, as a squad, as Arsenal as we know it. Do you know what I mean? We slowly dwindled down every single year. Yes, we may have won an FA Cup in between and we might have got to a final somewhere. That's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, we'll celebrate that. But on the whole, Glenn, we slowly went backwards every single year. And it only got worse for me under Emery. And then, obviously, that is why I kept saying, I'm willing to give it a couple of years just to sort of get rid of all the shit and start afresh. And then, once we go forward again, Glenn, I don't want to go forward just on that 1 year off chance, like what a Mourinho would do. He would come in, he would pick the team up, and then, win a trophy, maybe a big trophy, and then that would be it for 30 years, like Liverpool. I don't want that, mate. I want to be successful consistently again.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I won't pile on Wenger because I agree with all that too. I think the frustrating part for some people is that we could be further along in our progress, except for some bad moves. Unai wasn't the right guy. He's a nice guy, but he wasn't the right guy. And we've made some terrible personnel moves and contract moves. So it's Terry, it's like we could be so much further along. So people get frustrated. And when you get frustrated, you lose your reasoning, of thought. So I understand everybody's point, even if I disagree with them. You know, I know Claude and Diesel both. If they owned Arsenal, Arteta would have been gone months ago. But I want to give him. I want to give him until the end of the season. Then we'll sit down and look exactly at what's going on. You know, that's the way. That's the way I like it. They made all these promises. Arteta made promises to Arsenal. Arsenal made promises to him. How are we going to get a top manager if we say, Arteta, we know we said all this, but get the hell out? Let's see what's going to happen at the end of the season. That I know it's frustrating for a lot of people. I see why they are mad at Arteta. I understand why they're mad at Arteta. But, you know, so Terry, it's just a point of view. You know, some people don't. Frig it. We're like Chelsea. Lampard, hero of the club. Get the hell out. You know what I mean? I don't view Arsenal like that. I don't view Arsenal making promises to Arteta, Arteta making promises to him, and then us saying, you know what? I know we still have 15 games left in the season, but get out. I don't like a club that's run that way.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, Glenn. There, I don't like a club run that way, and a lot of people will say, well, they win trophies and they every year and God knows what, and that's not the Arsenal way for me. It's not the Arsenal way. It's just not the Arsenal way. I don't know about you.
Style and class, and they mean it. They're not just words at Arsenal. They're not just words.
Yeah. No, exactly, mate. Exactly. All right, let's move on to the next sort of story that's making the headlines over here, Glenn. Again, it's you won't believe it's news, but let's talk about it because I know other people will. So, and that is apparently Aubameyang has been pictured getting a new tattoo, which will probably be breaking the coronavirus laws.
Oh my gosh. Really? Really? Oh my gosh, you guys just put anything in the news. Who cares? Let him get his tattoo. Who cares?
Look, at the end of the day,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Terry.
No, I was just going to say this is in the Sun. So, you know, the Sun is not the
most
trustworthy of papers. So, you know, there you go, Glenn. I just wanted to make that clear. Go on, mate.
I mean, Terry, no, seriously, how do you feel about it? I know that, you know, I know it's a culture thing. Maybe it is a big story over there. You know, to me, I don't get it. It's nothing. You know what story's #1 over here right now in the States? Not to be morbid or anything, but the governor covering up sending people to nursing homes in the middle of the COVID pandemic. That's a story. All right. Aubameyang getting leave him alone. My gosh.
Listen, no, at the end of the day, if he has got it done, then he has broke COVID laws. You know what I mean? So why on earth, as a big profile player, would do something like that and then get pictured doing something like that anyway, for it to even get out there in the papers is totally stupid. Totally stupid. Do you know what I mean? But you know, surely there's bigger stories to be going with at the moment than just picking up on that. I just don't get it. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, if he has done it and whatever, then, you know, he needs to be punished because obviously, you know, he's a big profile player, Glenn. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, we've only got another couple of weeks, hopefully. And then, you know, we you know, the laws would be relaxed again and we can hopefully start moving on with life and getting some sort of normality back. But, you know, it's just one of them things, mate.
All right. I look, you make a good point. All right. But what is he, 30 years old? Were you very smart when you were 30, Terry?
I'll keep my mouth closed for that one, Glenn.
I was an idiot. You know, if you gave me millions of dollars and I was one of the best strikers in the world at 30 years old, I would be in the papers every day for doing something stupid. That's how stupid I was when I was 30. Yeah, it was stupid. Fine him. It's chump change. It's chump change to him. Well, fine him.
No, exactly. Right, let's move on for that because that's boring news for me anyway. Right, let's move on to Thursday. Thursday, big, massive game. Obviously, round 32 in the Europa League. Benfica versus Arsenal, Glenn. What are your thoughts on it? Start off with, do you think we should keep the same team? Would you make any changes to the team? What are you going for, mate?
I'm trying to think if I would make changes to the team because Benfica is a damn good team. I just want our best starting 11 out there. I'd have to think about that, Terry, because that squad we started the game with, is Partey going to be okay for Thursday, or is he out?
As far as I'm aware, I think he will be out. As far as I'm aware.
How about Tierney?
Tierney, I think he might be available. Might be. But I think if they're not, then I think both of them hopefully will be fit for the City game.
Okay, same squad, but put somebody else on the bench besides El Neni. and I'll be fine. So, yeah, I'll have to say same squad that started the Leeds game.
Obviously, it's going to be played in Rome at the Stadio Olimpico because obviously of COVID laws, we can't travel to Portugal and they can't travel to our country. So it's going to be played in Italy. Would that make a difference, Glenn?
I don't understand. Home field advantage has not been without the crowd. Home field advantage is almost nothing. You know what I'm saying? So a neutral site, Arsenal, in my opinion, are slightly better than Benfica, but not all that much better. Play our best 11. I don't care where it is. We should win the game.
Just going on form at the moment, Glenn. Benfica in their last 6 games have only won 1 game.
Oh, nice. Yeah, go with the same squad against Leeds. No Willian or El Neni on the bench, and we should. I want our best 11, and right now our best 11 might be what started against Leeds, without Partey and Tierney, obviously.
Yeah. Look, for me, I'll tell you what, Glenn. Let's just assume everyone is fit. What would your team be? Knowing that obviously we've got City on Sunday and all, but I mean that shouldn't make a difference. I'm just saying if any rotation or anything like that you're thinking of, but if everyone was fit, what team would you go for?
Aubameyang, Saka, Smith Rowe, Ceballos, Partey, Tierney, Gabriel, Bellerin, and Holding.
All right. So if everyone was fit for me, I would play our best team, our best 11, because that's what we need to start doing. And hopefully these players can start playing consistently in every game. So I would go with Leno in goal. I would go.
Leno in goal. I didn't say goal. Sorry, Leno in goal for me.
I'd have Leno in goal. Cedric at right back. I think I would go with Holding and Gabriel, and then obviously Tierney at left back. At the moment, I'd play Xhaka in a defensive midfield role with Partey and Smith Rowe in front of them. And then I would go with Saka.
I forgot Odegaard too. Terry, I told you, I just woke up. All right. You forgot Odegaard. So go ahead.
I would play Saka on the right, Pepe on the left. And at this precise moment, obviously, after what happened at Leeds with an hat-trick, I would leave Aubameyang up front for that game. Because obviously, when he gets an hat-trick, you got to leave him in your team. You can't take him out. So he deserves to be there at the moment. So then, obviously, we would have Lacazette, Odegaard. Who else would we have on the bench? Martinelli, Lacazette, yeah, Martinelli. So we'd have quite a good bench and all.
Yeah. Then. No, I agree, and we should win. We should win. And hopefully we will, because I think that's our only realistic way into the Champions League. Yeah, I'm not giving up. I know, Terry, don't start your wind-up yelling. I'm not giving up on the season. I'm not giving up on the season. I just feel it's more realistic through the Europa League.
No. Look, I've been saying that all year, to be honest, Glenn, because I don't think we would get top 4. I mean, I know a lot of people think that, we're the old Arsenal of old, and they think that we've got a good enough squad to get top 4, but we come 8th for a reason last year, because obviously there's teams that are improving every single year, and they're going out, they're buying good players. I mean, who would have thought West Ham would be up there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm like we said earlier. I don't put much stock in what the media says, but there were some quotes that perhaps Odegaard will be staying, perhaps Ceballos will be staying. We're improving the team, Terry. The team is slowly improving.
Exactly, Glenn. Exactly, and that's what I mean. Come the end of this season, hopefully we can finish as high as we possibly can. I mean, there's no saying where we're gonna finish, because look, like I said earlier on, Glenn, we're only 6 points behind Liverpool, who's in fourth place. I'm not saying that we're going to go and smash City on Sunday, and then we're going to go and smash all the other teams and all that. What I'm saying is, it's quite easily possible that after another 2 games, we could be fourth place, or we could be 15th place.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But what most people will do is say is, oh, we'll be in 15th place. Instead of thinking, just having just a slight little bit of positivity and say, well, look, if we can get something out of Sunday's game, maybe a draw, because the way City are playing at the moment, they're in fantastic form. They're in, let's be honest, they're in championship form, like champion form. I can't remember the last time they lost. I think the last time they lost was at Tottenham when Mourinho beat them.
They look amazing. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you're owned by an oil country. So yeah, they are. Hey, that's just the facts, all right. And plus, they also, if you remember, were accused of illegally putting their team together, but they had a lot of money and some good lawyers too. Look, so putting all that aside, now I'll be nice to City. They look amazing. They look freaking crazy good. Crazy great. I'm sorry. But you know what? We beat Benfica. Okay, we play who's in front of us, but I'll indulge you. We beat Benfica. Okay, City next. To me, statement game. Will we win? Probably not. But what if we did? Yeah. There have been much crazier results this year than us beating City. So I'm not going, I hope we get a draw. And I'm not making fun of you, Terry. I'm not making fun of you. That's the majority. That's the majority of Arsenal fans. Oh, draw, please. No, I want to win. I want a statement game. Why is it crazy to think that could happen? There's lots of reasons why it wouldn't happen, but I'm not going in there. I'm going in there saying statement game. Yeah. Let's show everybody that we're almost back. We're not almost back, but let's show everybody we are on the right track.
Yeah. The thing is, Glenn, and you're totally right there, because just on the big if, right, and it's a big massive if, we did win, right? We did win. That's going to be absolutely wonderful for our confidence. Wonderful for Arsenal's confidence, moving forward with and a few more hard games. But that doesn't mean, right? That does not mean for all these people that are Arteta at, and that just want to. That does not mean, right, that I'm automatically thinking then we're going to get top 4 just because we beat Man City on Sunday, Glenn.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that, Terry. But you got to watch yourself, because you get so excited, that you start these Arteta conversations on the banstas, and next thing you know, everybody's yelling at each other when you're up 4-0. So, yeah, I agree with everything you said, bro.
No, look, it's just common sense at the end of the day, Glenn. Obviously, all I'm trying to say is that a lot of these people that want the manager gone, which is fine, there's no problem with that. They keep saying to me that I support Arsenal, not the manager, not the team, blah blah blah. Well, in that case, then let's not be negative. Let's go into this game as Arsenal fans. Let's get behind the players. Let's get behind the manager at the moment. If he loses, then you can have your argument. Then before, afterwards. But let's go in and why not us be a little bit confident? And hopefully we can get something, Glenn.
Yeah, I agree, Terry. I don't know what to say to that, because I do believe that the Arteta out people have a right to voice their opinion. I know you do too, but sometimes you're guilty of it too, and yeah. You got to be more patient with your fellow fans. There's a lot of frustration out there. You know what I'm saying, dude? It's A lot of people are frustrated. People deal with frustration in different ways. We're all different. All of us are different. You know, if you saw me during that Arsenal game, the first half I was singing and dancing. I was so freaking happy. Second half I'm yelling at my TV. I was two different people. My dogs were all laying down. I have 3 dogs all laying down around me during the first half. They all ran upstairs in the second half of that game. We're all different. We're all different, my friend.
No, exactly. And that's what makes debating fantastic, Glenn.
Yeah, I agree. And I know that you guys, you love your banter. So it's for me, I'll engage in it once in a while, like what I just did with Manchester City fans. But, you know, whatever.
No, exactly, mate. And look, you know, I think at the moment, coming to Thursday's game, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm full of confidence at the minute. I'm hoping, obviously, I'm in sort of two minds at the moment, Glenn. Like we were saying earlier on about Partey and Tierney. Do we play them in this game, or do we just wait and, you know what I mean, see and give them for Sunday's game? I don't know what to do for the best, really. I'm in two minds, Glenn.
And that's the thing, we'll never know because they never seem to tell us the truth about these injured players. I only want them playing if they're 100% fit on Thursday. If they're 100% fit on Thursday, yes, I want them to play. How many substitutions are in the Europa League? Is it 5 or is it 3?
I think it's 5 still, isn't it? If I'm right.
Okay.
I think it's 5. I'm not too sure. I think it's 5. I think it's still 5 in Europa.
So if they are 100% healthy and it's still 5 in the Europa League, yes, I want them to start. You can take them off after the half. This is a big game. I want our best 11 out there, our best healthy 11.
Yeah.
You know, we got to play it one game at a time. It's like, okay, next, Benfica. Get the job done, then see who's healthy, who's not, who's ready for City. Got to do it one game at a time. Can't be like, okay, you sit over there because City's coming up soon, and we don't want you to get hurt. You know, I don't want that.
Yeah, no,
I want more like I want like, you know, General Patton or General Montgomery. It's like, get in there, fellas, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, exactly, mate. I'm totally with you, actually. I want the best team to be playing every game, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm fed up of talking about injuries and, you know what I mean, and these players only playing 2 or 3 games and then they're out injured. I'm fed up with it now. I want to see them playing regularly every single week now, Glenn.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I want that too. So we'll see what happens, Terry. It's one of the most frustrating parts about Arsenal, the dishonesty with the health issues. I don't know what to tell you, man. Just get the best 11 out there. But I don't believe that's another thing that's hurt me about Arteta. When he first started, I believed everything he said. I'm like, this is a straightforward guy. I like his attitude. Now I'm not sure if I can believe some things he says. I don't like that. But yeah, just best 11 that are healthy, and that's it. One game at a time. One game at a time.
One game at a time. That's it. That's what I like. That's what I like. What's your prediction for Thursday night, Glenn?
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. I'm going to go 3-1. I don't know why.
I like the cut of your jib.
I'm going to go 3-1. Let's see what happens. Let's quickly, for the last sort of 5-10 minutes, let's just have a look back on the other results of the weekend, Glenn. Big, massive result here. Leicester winning 3-1 against Liverpool after being 1-0 down.
The thing I took from that was not so much it being a surprise, but I didn't like Klopp conceding the Premier League after the game. That was my big takeaway from it. I wasn't so much surprised. Leicester's a hell of a team. It was Klopp's defeatist, in my opinion, defeatist attitude. I would be pissed if he were my manager.
But is that big? I mean, obviously, he's just recently lost his mum, hasn't he? I mean, in the last 2 or 3 days. So I don't know if that's because of
that can put you in a bad frame of mind, I'm sure. So I should walk back a little bit from that. I don't think he should have done it, but perhaps that's the reason. He was just in a negative frame of mind.
Yeah, no, exactly. Alisson been a great keeper for Liverpool, but in the last 2 weeks, 4 mistakes now.
Yeah, isn't it tough? The only person on the squad not allowed to have a slump is the goalkeeper. Uh, he's a hell, he'll bounce back from it. It's not like a De Gea, it's not like a De Gea situation where you wonder if he lost it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't put much stock in a goalkeeper in a slump.
Yeah, yeah.
Bad run of form. Sorry, I keep using American terms.
So I mean, just quickly in on that, finishing it off. I mean, Liverpool at the moment going through a really bad run of games, really bad purple patch at the moment, Glenn. Look,
so hold on. Sorry, that was my mom. No, done. That was my mom. I'll call her back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're going through a real purple patch at the moment, Glenn. Liverpool. I mean, in fourth place, quite a lot of points behind Man City at the moment. I mean, are they going to be struggling to get Champions League football this year?
I think everything's going to be a struggle for them when they lose probably the top center back in the world. Yeah, everything's going to be a struggle for them, and it has been.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right, moving on. Palace 0, Burnley 3.
I don't know. What's your take on that? I don't. It's like these games can go either way to me. To me, go ahead.
For me, I just think Roy Hodgson. It's clear now that he's ready to leave. He's ready to retire. I don't think that he's got anything left in it. And that's nothing against him personally, but I mean, he's already come out in an interview and said that he's probably going to retire at the end of the season. I think personally, he's hoping that Palace will just turn around and sack him so that he can get his money and go away, because that's just a personal thing. I mean, Burnley winning 3-0 at Palace. I mean, that had a draw written all over it for me. I mean, that's a bad result for Palace.
Roy Hodgson, I don't understand. Was he like 73? It's like, why does he want to deal? Why does he want to deal with this? You know what I mean? Retired, dude. Go play some shuffleboard on a cruise ship. Have some fun. So why does he want to deal with this?
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to deal with this.
I know, mate. I know. Another big result. Man City 3, Spurs 0.
I cannot delight enough in Spurs suffering. Did that really surprise you? It didn't really surprise me.
Well, no. Look, I thought I to be honest, the only thing I was surprised at is that I thought Spurs would have scored, because obviously you've got Kane up there, you've got Son, and it just goes to show the negative tactics under Mourinho as a manager. Because Son, we done the watch along. I can't remember doing a Spurs watch along, Glenn, and only saying Son's name about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, for me, the thing that I take most from Spurs is that you and I both said it was going to happen. Oh yeah, you want Mourinho, you'll get some results year 1. If you're lucky, year 2, and then year 3 he'll implode and take the team with him. But it's happening sooner than I thought.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, mate. And it looks like they're struggling big time and all.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Like we said, it's a match made in heaven, Mourinho and Spurs.
All due respect to Arsenal, because there were quite a surprisingly large amount of Arsenal supporters that wanted Mourinho. And we both said it was a deal with the devil. You know what I mean? And I used this joke on a show with you guys a few months ago, but I'm going to use it again. It's a deal with the devil. It's like telling the devil that you want all the women you can have in bed in your life at any time, and the devil will be sure, and then 3 years later your knob falls off. That's the way it is. That's the deal with the devil with Mourinho. 3 years later, the knob falls off.
Just quickly, Brighton 0, Villa 0.
Villa, I was a little surprised because Villa did a hell of a job putting their team together this season, with a little help from us. And I still would have kept Leno. But yeah, it's a little surprising because I think Villa are better than them. But it's the Premier League, 2021. Is it 2021, Terry? You know, anybody can beat anybody.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly. I was surprised and all, really. I mean, Villa, I think, eating a little purple patch and all at the moment, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, because obviously we need them to. But I mean, you know, they've been really good this season, but they look like they're just struggling of late on a few of their results. But we need them to do that if we are going to move up the table. So, and I know they've still got a couple of games in hand over us still. So, you know, it just goes to show you that when Arsenal fans say we're in 10th place, but the teams below us have got 2 or 3 games in hand, it doesn't automatically mean that they're going to get the 3 points. Like I keep saying, Glenn. Do you know what I mean? And that just goes to show you with the game Everton versus Fulham. Everton 0, Fulham 2, Glenn.
Yeah. Let me just say this, Terry. All right, we all approach things differently, as I've said 1,000 times this show. You can't, for me, obsessing on the table right now. All right, we got these amount of games in hand. They got this. Let's just get a run of wins together. Then I'll look at the table and I'll look at who has games in hand and stuff. Everton, I thought they were punching above their weight in the beginning of the season. They're kind of, I don't know what to think of them yet. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but that's a big loss. I mean, at home, 2-0 to Fulham. I mean, Fulham have been struggling all season, and Super Carlos, you know what I mean, got his tactics obviously wrong that day.
I don't, you know, losing at home to Fulham, there's no excuse you can give that's gonna fly. But you know, Terry, it's the Premier League. There's been there's been crazier scores than Fulham 2, Everton 0.
Exactly. No, totally right. Southampton 1, Wolves 2.
Yeah, that went about as expected.
West Brom 1, Man United 1.
I will say this. When we did our prediction show before the season started, I said, if Liverpool and if Manchester City both falter, perhaps Manchester United could make a title run. I know you guys don't think they're as talented as that, but I like their squad. And, you know, I was surprised and amused at that final.
No, look, I mean, West Brom done well to get a point there, to be honest, and they could have won it late on with a chance.
They should have won it. I watched that one. They should have won that game.
Yeah, exactly. So West Brom done well, but you know, at the end of the day, they got a point. So well done, West Brom. West Ham 3, Sheffield United 0.
I don't know what happened to Sheffield United. I love Chris Wilder so much, but West Ham, they are a legit top 4 team.
At the moment, they're playing really well. You can't take it away from West Ham at the moment. They're playing really well. I hold my hands up. I had them to be relegated at the beginning of the season, but they've done absolutely fantastic. Let's be real.
Yeah, I said they would be in a relegation battle, and you know what? Despite you know them being an opponent and someone that we hopefully will be chasing, West Ham fans deserve a good team. With everything that they have gone through. So I'm happy for them.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly. And last but not least, Chelsea 2, Newcastle 0.
I don't know. What do you think? Chelsea's another team. I said if the top 2 struggle, they might make a run. But Chelsea have the same problem that we do with integrating new players into your team, and you know, sometimes that takes time. It's different for every team. And I
think the worst thing that happened with Chelsea and for Frank Lampard, to be honest, was going out getting all these new players, spending all that money, and then you know having to basically guarantee them a place because you've just bought them. When you already had the foundations there from the 2 seasons before, with all the youngsters coming through and that was the worst thing for Frank Lampard, I think, and unfortunately he paid the price. But I mean, you know, is it just a bounce at the moment? We won't know. Obviously, we just have to wait and see. Chelsea got bigger and harder games coming up. Let's be real. The games that he's played at the moment ain't been the biggest teams, if you know what I mean, Glenn. But anyone can beat anyone in this Premier League, like you said, mate.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said about Lampard and what happened. You know, they had that transfer window where they were not allowed to do anything, and then when they had all this money, they did all the wrong things, or they did some wrong miscalculations. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I agree with everything you said about Lampard. Tough deal. I felt bad for him when they sacked him. I really did. I'm like, give him. You could have gave him till the end of the season. It's kind of the same thing as Arteta, But if they sacked Arteta tomorrow, it'd be like, you could have given him till the end of the season. That's the same thing I did with Lampard.
Yeah, no, exactly, Glenn. Thanks, Glenn, for coming on. Really appreciate it, mate. And like we said, you'll be coming on a lot more soon. We've got things happening that we'll be able to discuss very, very shortly. But yeah, I mean, it's been great having you back on, Glenn. And once again, thanks again for the intro. Fantastic, mate.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, I will be back more often. You'll see me everywhere. And Terry posted my post-game video for Arsenal Leeds. It's the one before this video. It's a 2-minute wrap-up of the game. Please check it out.
No, exactly, Glenn. And look, you stay safe, mate, and we'll definitely speak soon. We speak every day on the
no, we're always Terry and I are always messaging back and forth stuff that we're working on. And Terry, you know what I realized? And this is not even a joke. I talk to you more than I talk to my wife. She works upstairs in the living room with the door closed. She's working from home, and I see her briefly at dinner time, and then she's gone. She doesn't want to be bothered. I talk to you more than my wife. What kind of reflection is that on me? I don't even want to think about it. So thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody, for your kind words.
No problem, Glenn. And like we said, we really do appreciate everything you do for us, mate. We really do, mate. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be able to buy you a proper drink, mate.
Yeah, you might. Yes, absolutely. We'll talk about that in the future. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to you. I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything. So.
Yeah. Go on, mate. You're all right. You're fine.
Terry's hopefully going to be visiting New York, and we're going to hang out and get shitty.
That would be a good watch along, wouldn't
it? Yes, absolutely. All right. Thanks, my bro.
Thanks a lot, Glenn. Really appreciate it. Everyone, thank you very much. If I can, I don't know yet. I might be doing a watch along of the Champions League game later. Please just look out for the notifications. Put a notification bell on and you'll be notified. I'm not here tomorrow. I've got a funeral. And then I'll be back on Thursday for the watch along of the big game. Obviously, Benfica versus Arsenal. So thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate you coming over and giving us a watch. And hopefully I might be back later. I will let you know. But if not, I'll see you Thursday. Thank you very much. Speak soon.